What if I told you that the secret to extraordinary success isn't talent, luck, or genius, but improving yourself just 1% every single day? One small choice, repeated consistently, has the power to change your life completely, and it starts right now. Improving yourself by just 1% every day may sound small, almost insignificant, but that is exactly where its power lies. Most people think change has to be monumental, that transformation requires dramatic, immediate shifts, but real growth is rarely explosive. It's quiet, it's gradual, it's subtle. Imagine for a moment that every single day you made one tiny improvement, a small tweak to your behavior, a slight adjustment to your mindset, or a minor enhancement to your skills. Alone, these changes seem trivial, almost negligible. But when you compound them day after day, week after week, month after month, the effect is exponential. That 1% builds layer upon layer, creating a foundation of strength, confidence, and capability that you might not even notice in the short term. This approach requires patience and a willingness to embrace incremental progress. It demands that you let go of the obsession with instant results and perfection, and instead commit to the long game. Each day, you have the chance to ask yourself a simple question. How can I be just a little better than I was yesterday? It could be reading a few more pages of a book, practicing a skill for 10 more minutes, or taking a small step toward a goal that has been lingering in the back of your mind. These minor improvements might not be visible to anyone else, but they are deeply visible to the person who matters most to you. This is the essence of personal growth. It is private, consistent, and intentional. The beauty of improving 1% every day is that it removes the intimidation of massive change. People often fail to take action because they look at the mountain in front of them and feel overwhelmed. But when you shrink that mountain into small, manageable steps, the task suddenly becomes doable. The journey of self-improvement stops being a distant, abstract concept and becomes a daily practice. You realize that every single day presents an opportunity to grow, to become a better version of yourself. This mindset shifts your perspective on challenges and obstacles. What once seemed insurmountable begins to feel like a puzzle you can solve one piece at a time. You start valuing progress over perfection, understanding that growth is measured by consistency and persistence rather than immediate outcomes. When you focus on getting better by 1%, you start to notice patterns in your behavior, your habits, and your mindset. You begin to understand which areas of your life require attention and which ones already serve you well. Improvement becomes a process of refinement rather than radical transformation, and it teaches you to appreciate the small victories. Over time, the compounding effect of these small improvements creates momentum. Momentum that carries you through moments of doubt and fatigue. Momentum that builds resilience, discipline, and confidence. You learn to trust the process and to honor the small, deliberate actions that collectively shape the trajectory of your life. By committing to improving yourself just 1% each day, you are making a choice to take responsibility for your own growth. You are acknowledging that you are the architect of your own life and that your daily actions, no matter how small, have the power to determine your future. This approach empowers you to break large goals into achievable steps, transforming the seemingly impossible into the consistently attainable. It instills a sense of purpose and direction because every day carries the potential to make you stronger, wiser, and more capable than you were the day before. Small, consistent actions are the backbone of real, lasting change. Many people underestimate the power of repetition and the compounding effect of doing something minor consistently over time. We live in a world obsessed with instant results, quick fixes, and dramatic transformations. But the truth is that true progress is built quietly, step by step. Every small action you take may feel insignificant at the moment. Writing a paragraph, making a phone call, practicing a skill, or even adjusting your mindset. But when repeated day after day, these actions accumulate into results that are far greater than the sum of their parts. The small steps are the bricks, the consistency is the mortar that holds the structure of your success together. Consistency turns ordinary efforts into extraordinary outcomes because it allows your habits to compound. When you take small actions consistently, you're not just adding value day by day, you're multiplying it. The first day might feel like nothing happened. The 10th day might seem minor. But as the days turn into weeks and weeks into months, you begin to see that what once seemed negligible has transformed into something powerful. Imagine saving a tiny amount of money every day. At first, it seems meaningless, but over a year, it grows into a sum that can change your life. The same principle applies to your skills, knowledge, and mindset. Repetition over time transforms potential into reality. Consistency also develops discipline, which is the bridge between goals and achievement. It trains your mind and body to function in a pattern that naturally leads to progress. When you show up every day, Even when you don't feel like it, you're building a system that works for you, a system that eventually becomes automatic. This automaticity is what separates people who talk about change from those who actually achieve it. Small actions repeated without fail. Cultivate habits that become part of your identity. You start thinking of yourself as the kind of person who takes action, who follows through, and who continually improves. This identity, reinforced through daily consistency, becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy that drives even greater results. Another important aspect of small, consistent actions is that they reduce overwhelm. Big goals can paralyze us with their sheer magnitude, but breaking them down into small, manageable actions makes progress feel achievable. You don't need to climb the entire mountain in a single day, you just need to take the next step. When you focus on the small, consistent actions in front of you, momentum builds naturally. Each action, no matter how minor, pushes you forward, and this forward motion creates energy, motivation, and confidence. Over time, the compounding effect of these actions produces results that far exceed what most people expect or imagine. Consistency also strengthens resilience. Life will throw obstacles, distractions, and failures your way, but if your daily actions are unwavering, setbacks lose their power over you. You learn to trust the process and understand that every effort, no matter how small, contributes to your long-term growth. It teaches patience and persistence, showing that progress is rarely linear but always cumulative. By committing to small, consistent actions, you set up a system where success is inevitable, because the math of repeated effort always works in your favor, and the discipline cultivated through this process carries over into every aspect of your life. Choosing growth over comfort is one of the most important decisions you can make in your life. Every day, we are faced with countless moments where we can either settle for the familiar or stretch ourselves into the unknown. Comfort feels safe, easy, and predictable, but it comes with a hidden cost: stagnation. Growth, on the other hand, is uncomfortable, demanding, and sometimes even painful. But it is the only path to becoming the person you are capable of being. Choosing growth means prioritizing progress over ease, challenge over complacency, and long-term fulfillment over short-term satisfaction. It is a conscious decision to embrace discomfort as a necessary part of becoming stronger, wiser, and more capable. The path of growth requires that you confront your fears, doubts, and insecurities. Comfort lures you into repetition, into doing what you already know, and avoiding what you don't. Growth pushes you to face uncertainty, to take risks, and to attempt things that may not come easily at first. Each time you step out of your comfort zone, you expand your capabilities and reshape your limits. You learn not only what you can do, but who you are when tested. This is where real transformation happens, not in moments of ease, but in moments of challenge. Choosing growth over comfort is essentially a commitment to being honest with yourself about your potential and refusing to let fear dictate your life. Growth also demands patience and consistency. Unlike the fleeting satisfaction of comfort, the rewards of growth are cumulative and require ongoing effort. Every time you choose to act with courage, to learn something new, or to take a step toward improvement, you are investing in a future version of yourself. These choices may not produce immediate results, and that is precisely why so many people avoid them. Growth often requires you to delay gratification, to work when it's inconvenient, and to persist even when progress is slow. Yet, over time, these small, deliberate decisions compound into meaningful achievements and profound personal evolution. Choosing growth over comfort also reshapes your mindset and perspective. When you commit to growth, you start seeing challenges as opportunities instead of obstacles. Failures become lessons rather than dead ends. Criticism transforms into guidance rather than a threat. By consistently opting for growth, you develop resilience, adaptability, and a problem-solving mindset that prepares you for any situation. Comfort may make life predictable and easy, but it also keeps you fragile and unprepared. Growth builds strength, confidence, and independence because it forces you to rely on yourself and to learn from your own experiences. Moreover, prioritizing growth over comfort influences the people around you and the environment you create. Growth-oriented individuals inspire others to raise their own standards and foster a culture of accountability, persistence, and continuous improvement. When you choose discomfort in pursuit of excellence, you demonstrate what is possible and motivate others to pursue their own potential. Over time, this creates a ripple effect, where the decision to grow rather than remain comfortable transforms not only your own life but also the lives of those you influence. Embracing failure as a stepping stone rather than a setback is one of the most transformative mindsets you can develop. Most people fear failure because they associate it with inadequacy, shame, or loss, but the truth is that failure is an essential part of growth and success. Every successful person, every innovator, every leader has faced failure countless times. The difference is not that they avoided it, but that they reframed it. They saw failure not as a permanent defeat, but as feedback, as information that pointed the way forward. Failure is not the opposite of success, it is part of the journey toward it, a teacher that shapes your skills, character, and resilience. When you fail, it forces you to confront reality. It exposes weaknesses, gaps in knowledge, or areas where preparation is lacking. While this can feel uncomfortable, it is precisely this discomfort that drives learning and improvement. Failure provides clarity. It strips away illusions and forces you to take an honest look at yourself and your approach. Each mistake, each setback is an opportunity to analyze what went wrong, to understand your limitations, and to develop strategies that prevent the same error in the future. By embracing failure, you transform it from a source of shame into a source of wisdom. Moreover, failure cultivates resilience, which is the ability to keep moving forward despite challenges. Life is unpredictable, and setbacks are inevitable. Success is rarely a straight path. By learning to face failure without fear, you build mental strength and emotional fortitude. You learn to recover quickly, adapt, and continue your pursuit with renewed determination. Resilience doesn't mean you won't feel disappointment or frustration. It means that these feelings don't control your actions. Each failure becomes a rehearsal for perseverance, teaching you that setbacks are temporary and progress is ongoing. Failure also encourages creativity and innovation. When you are not afraid to fail, you are willing to take risks, experiment, and try new approaches. Comfort and predictability may seem safe, but they rarely lead to breakthrough results. Failure opens doors to possibilities you wouldn't explore otherwise. It pushes you to think differently, to challenge assumptions, and to discover solutions that you might never have considered if everything had gone perfectly from the start. Each failed attempt adds a layer of insight, building the foundation for future success. Another key aspect of embracing failure is that it fosters humility and continuous learning. Failure reminds you that no one has all the answers and that mastery requires practice, patience, and reflection. It teaches you to value progress over perfection and effort over outcome. By acknowledging your failures and learning from them, you develop a mindset of growth and self-improvement, rather than one of stagnation and fear. Failure also strengthens your character and shapes your identity. Those who face setbacks and continue moving forward develop qualities like courage, patience, and determination. Each failure becomes a story of perseverance, a testament to your willingness to keep striving despite obstacles. You begin to see challenges not as threats, but as opportunities to demonstrate your strength and commitment to your goals, creating a mindset that embraces life fully, without fear of stumbling along the way. Consistency beats perfection because waiting for perfect conditions or flawless execution keeps most people from ever starting. Many of us get trapped in the illusion that we need to have everything figured out before we take action, that we must execute without mistakes, or that our efforts must be flawless to count. The truth is, perfection is unattainable, and the pursuit of it often becomes a trap that paralyzes progress. Consistency, on the other hand, creates momentum. It is the daily commitment to showing up, doing the work, and making progress regardless of how imperfect it may seem. Consistent action compounds over time, turning small, repeated efforts into significant results that perfection alone could never achieve. Consistency is powerful because it builds habits, and habits shape identity. When you consistently perform small actions, they become routine, second nature, and eventually part of who you are. You don't need to rely solely on motivation or willpower because the behavior has been embedded into your daily life. Over time, this consistency produces a rhythm that drives progress, even on days when motivation is low or challenges arise. Perfection may inspire you temporarily, but it rarely sustains long-term change. Consistency, however, creates a system that works for you, reinforcing the behaviors that lead to growth and improvement. Another reason consistency is more effective than perfection is that it allows for learning and adaptation. When you aim for perfection, mistakes are often feared, avoided, or hidden, and this limits your ability to grow. But consistency embraces the process, including the missteps and adjustments that come with it. Every consistent effort, even if flawed, provides feedback. It gives you information about what works, what doesn't, and where you can improve. By showing up consistently, you allow yourself to experiment, refine, and evolve. Progress is rarely linear, and the pursuit of perfection can blind you to the lessons that emerge through repeated effort. Consistency also builds trust, both in yourself and in others. When you show up regularly, it demonstrates reliability, commitment, and integrity. You begin to trust your ability to follow through, which strengthens confidence and self-efficacy. Others notice as well. People respect and follow those who persist, not those who aim for unattainable perfection and falter when they fall short. By valuing consistency over perfection, you establish a reputation for dependability and resilience that opens doors, creates opportunities, and reinforces a cycle of progress. Importantly, consistency transforms the fear of failure into a tool for growth. When your goal is consistent effort rather than perfect execution, mistakes lose their power. Failures become temporary detours instead of permanent barriers. Each attempt, no matter how imperfect, moves you forward and contributes to long-term improvement. You develop patience, persistence, and a mindset that values progress over immediate results, which is essential for achieving meaningful outcomes. Finally, consistency beats perfection because it emphasizes action over stagnation. Waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, or the perfect skill set keeps most people from ever starting. Taking consistent steps, even small ones, ensures that you are moving, learning, and evolving every day. It transforms potential into results, intentions into habits, and dreams into reality. Daily intentional progress builds lasting greatness because greatness is not an event, it is a process. It is the result of countless small decisions made consistently over time, each one moving you closer to the person you aspire to become. Many people look at successful individuals and assume that they achieved their position through talent alone, luck, or sudden opportunity. The truth is that lasting greatness is rarely the product of one monumental effort. It is the accumulation of daily, purposeful actions. Every choice you make, every habit you cultivate, and every step you take toward improvement contributes to a foundation that becomes unshakable over time. Intentional progress requires focus and clarity about what truly matters. It's easy to get caught in the business of life, chasing tasks, responding to distractions, and reacting to circumstances rather than actively shaping your growth. Daily progress demands that you identify the areas of your life that will move the needle most significantly. Whether that is in your skills, your mindset, your relationships, or your health, and commit to improving them even slightly each day. It is about setting clear intentions for your actions and making deliberate choices that align with your long-term vision. Without intention, progress is haphazard, inconsistent, and ultimately less impactful. The cumulative effect of intentional progress is what transforms ordinary efforts into greatness. A single day of effort may feel inconsequential, and a week of incremental improvement might seem insignificant, but over months and years the results are undeniable. Small, purposeful actions compound, much like interest in a savings account, growing exponentially over time. By committing to daily progress, you create a momentum that propels you forward, making it easier to maintain focus, motivation, and discipline. You begin to see the fruits of your efforts in ways that would have been impossible to achieve through sporadic bursts of effort or reliance on raw talent alone. Daily progress also strengthens character. When you make a habit of improving yourself consistently, you develop traits that are essential for enduring success, such as patience, resilience, and self-discipline. You learn to persevere through challenges, to confront setbacks without losing momentum, and to maintain focus even when immediate results are not visible. This consistent effort builds a sense of competence and confidence that cannot be achieved through shortcuts or luck. It creates a mindset that values growth over comfort, effort over excuses, and long-term achievement over short-term gratification. Intentional daily progress also reinforces accountability and self-trust. When you commit to showing up for yourself every day, you develop confidence in your ability to follow through, even when conditions are difficult or motivation wanes. This self-trust becomes the foundation of lasting greatness because it allows you to take consistent action even in the face of uncertainty or fear. Each day becomes an opportunity to reinforce your commitment, to build on the work of the previous day, and to move steadily toward the person you are capable of becoming. Ultimately, daily intentional progress ensures that your efforts are not random or fleeting but structured, purposeful, and cumulative. It creates a trajectory where improvement compounds, momentum builds, and growth becomes inevitable. By approaching each day with deliberate action and consistent focus on becoming better than you were yesterday, you set the stage for achievements, skills, and character that endure.